This video file was recorded in Sabunja University during recitations for the CS204 Advanced Programming course as it was given in the spring semester of 2017.
Alright, let's start with the second class for this week. We're going to see the external variables. That's why please go to the globalDemo folder, and there you have two CPP files, globalDemo 1 CPP, globalDemo 2 CPP. Just copy paste them to the solution folder. So remove the previous file and add those two guys. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. In the same project, in the same solution file, we have two CPP files. And they're helping each other. It might be helpful when you work in a company and one of your friends is doing part of the code, a piece of the code, and another one, and you, for instance, are doing another piece of the code, okay? So let's see what happens here. Before going, have you heard about external variables? Before explaining the code. So what are external variables? Exactly, it's defined in another module. We can see in another CPP file. And we say, okay, we're going to use that particular variable defined on that particular module or CPP file. Okay? When we do this, we don't allocate a memory in our module. We are using the memory and the variable that is defined in that other CPP file, which we call another module. For this code here, let's first go with globalDemo 2. I'm going to enlarge the font. Let's see what do we have here. So this is globalDemo 2 CPP. And here, so this is globalDemo 2.cpp. You can see on that as module 2. We define here a global string. I'm going to write it as GS, global string, and the value of this global string is, in globalDemo 2, my shopping cart. It is my shopping cart. Then we define a static variable, and we saw what static variables are, called static global string. So I'm going to write it static here. This reserved name static. So static global string SGS, abbreviation of static global string. This value is my second static global string. Okay, so the value of this guy is my second static global string. Then I have another global string. It's also static. Its name is static global string 2. So SGS2. Its value is initialized to my static string only. And I have another global string, the second one. It's globalString 1. So the first one was here, The second one was, I'm going to define it here. This is a global one, globalString 2, GS2. Its value is globalString 1 initially. globalString 1. Okay. We have some functions, but see, those functions are defined, not declared, not prototype functions. The functions are printGlobalString, print, I'm going to write printGS, and I'm going to do this, meaning that, in brackets, that they are defined. They are not prototype functions. We have them there. Another function is print static globalString. So I'm going to write it here. Print static globalString, SGS. It's also written here. What do we have else? We have print static globalString 2. So print static globalString 2. It is defined here. Print globalString 2. I think we have two more. No, one more. updateGlobalString. So we have update the global string. And if we see what they are doing, the others don't have any parameters except for this guy, updateGlobalString. It takes a new string, a string which is called new string as a parameter. And what it is doing is it's appending this new string to the global string. The global string is here, GS. Okay? And this global string is global variable for this module here, for this CPP file here. It's defined at the beginning, so it's a global variable for it's here. Okay, so everyone can see it here. Not only here, we will see in others outside from this CPP file. So we take this global string, we add it, append another string to this one, and we return it back to the global string. While others are doing pretty simple stuff. Print globalString is print globalString 2 is printing globalString 2. Print globalString is printing globalString. Print static globalString is printing static globalString. Print static globalString 2 is printing only that. So we have only cout stuff here. This was about globalDemo CPP, globalDemo 2 CPP. Now let's see what do we have in globalDemo 1 CPP. So this is globalDemo 2.cpp. We have, what is this? updateGlobalString. You see updateGlobalString? But is it defined here? So what is this? It's not defined anywhere in the place. So if this is globalDemo CPP 1, globalDemo 1 CPP, you see everything is commented out, but we don't have any mistake. This is a prototype function, and we have seen it many times before. A prototype function can be used in one CPP file. Usually before using main, you define the prototype function, and after main, you declare the prototype function, and after main, you define it, what is going on. Or you remember the headers of the CPP files? Usually in the headers, although they're separate files, we define the prototype functions, and in the corresponding CPP files of the headers, we define them. So in headers, we declare them, and in CPP of the headers, corresponding CPPs, we define them. Here, we just say that, okay, we're going to use those functions here. They are defined somewhere else in this solution folder. And where is that someone else? In globalDemo2CPP. So we have functions update, or let me write them in the end here. So all of those functions, I might call them all this block. This is called block all functions. I have all of the functions here, okay, but as prototype. Prototype all functions. Meaning that when I'm using printString, globalString, updateGlobalString, blah, 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 I'm using the definition as it is given here. So far, so good. It's simple. But there's something going on here. We are defining some variables. We have a variable called extern string globalString. But you remember, we use globalString also here, and we are using also here. But we use a certain word in the beginning called extern. This extern means that, okay, this globalString, don't make a memory for that, because it's defined somewhere else. It's external. When I say external, GS, basically, as I'm using a reference to this guy here, I'm going to write a reference. Okay? So this is the global string I'm using. I'm not reserving a memory. Also, I declare static string, static global string. So I'm using static. But do we have extern here, the word? We don't have it. That's why we're going to reserve a memory in this module also, in this CPP file also, which is called static global string, and I'm going to write it as SGS, static global string, just as it is written here, static global string. And its value is my first static global string. That's why this one is my second static global string. So we have my first static global string. We have memory for this guy, for the static global string here, but not for the external. Now let's see what is happening. So there is some explanation also in this CPP file going on. I'm going to uncomment the parts that we need, and we will see the output. What do we have, and why do we have it? So let's go only with the case one, with this piece of code. Print global string. Here we have a prototype function, and everything else is commented, you see. But we have the print global string defined. We are calling it here in main. Always remember, if you have multiple CPP files, there should be only one main function, because the compiler starts executing from that particular code, okay? So we start from main, we print the global string. But we are in globalDemo 1 CPP. So how we're going to print it, can you tell me? We don't know what the print global string is doing. We just have the prototype here. So, come on. We go in globalDemo CPP too. globalDemo 2 CPP. That's why I wrote them in brackets, okay? So we are going to call the function of print global string there. Okay? Let me run the code first, and let's see what's the output that we are getting. Okay, so when we call print global string, let's go to globalDemo C, print global string. We print the global string. But what's the value of global string? Initial value is my shopping cart. We have here a global string that is kind of referencing somewhere this global string. That's why when we print it, we print this one, my shopping cart. That's why we get this line. Then let's go to main. We say globalString plus is equal to apple. But we are here, the main function is in, I'm sorry, this is globalDemo 1, not 2. So, and main is here. So this is main. In main, I say globalString is equal to the previous value plus apple. So what do we do here? My shopping cart, and we add apple in the end. Okay? Then we print globalString, but we print it from main. So when we print it, since this guy is referencing as an external variable, is referencing this guy, we print this stuff. Okay? But the change is viewable here, because this is kind of a reference. So when we print it with this second cout, we get this line, my shopping cart apple. Afterwards, we call the function updateGlobalString banana. The prototype is here, definition is here, updateGlobalString, and we send banana as parameter. So let's see what it is doing. Let's go to the updateGlobalString. So new string is basically banana, and it's adding this banana to the end. So the previous globalString plus the new string, which was banana. So we have apple here, we also add banana. We have added it. Now let's go to the main, and we print it out again. So when we print globalString, we print apple and banana. So this is our output. Is this clear? This is not a normal reference. This is using external variables, okay? And those prototype functions are using functions from another CPP file, which we have seen already. But not with two CPP files, but with a header and another CPP, the corresponding header of the library. Now let's see what's happening with static variables. I'm going to, okay, we are finished here. I'm going to write something like this. We are finished with this part. Now I'm going to uncomment this part also. And let's see what do we get. So I write something like this, cout. Case 2. Okay. Here we have a static global string in globalDemo 1, which is called my first static global string. In globalDemo 2, we also have a same variable with the same name, which is called my second global string. But the interesting part that both are static and both have the same name. But are they the same variables? They're not the same variables. That's why we have made them, we have written them in different boxes. Okay? They're not the same variables. Now what do you think? When I'm going to execute this piece of code and try to print this stuff here, okay, I'm going to print case 2. So I'm printing here in main at globalDemo 1 CPP static global string. Which one is going to be printed? Yes? In this CPP, yes. When we print this static global string, it's going to print the variable which is defined in this model, in this CPP. And its value is my first static global string. Afterwards, we call the function print static global string. We have a prototype of this function, but we have the prototype here, only the prototype in globalDemo 1 CPP. And the definition is in the other module, in the other CPP. So when we call print global string, static global string, print static global string, which string is going to be printed here? What do you think? In this CPP file. You are correct. Let me see the output again. Okay, so case 2 is printed. My first static global string, you see, this is from the first CPP, globalDemo 1. And then we print, after calling the print static global string function, we print my second static global string. And it's printed. Okay? So we saw about external global variables and static global variables, but those are not external. Let's go and see something else, something new. What do you think? Can I do something like this? In globalDemo CPP, I have another static string, as you remember, which is called my static string. It's the value of it's my static string, and it's called static global string 2. So I have static global string 2. It's a static variable. Can I use an external value to this one? So now I've uncommented this part, and I say, okay, external static global string 2. External static global string 2. Basically, I'm trying to reference this guy here. Is this doable or not? What do you think? This global string was not a static one, so we could reference it externally. But this guy here is a static string. Can we do that or no? You say why not? Let's say what the compiler says, because no one cares about what you think. Okay. So let's go and uncomment this part here, and let's see whether it's working or not. Oh, we have an error. It's undoable, meaning we cannot use external false static strings. Okay? It's undoable. That's why we have this error here. Okay, so this was doable. We did it. This was doable. We did it. So we can reference a global string. We can have static strings with the same name, but not external. So with the same name, it's doable. If we want to reference on a static global string, it's not doable. Now let's do something else. Let's use global variables with the same name, but not external. So, since this is not doable, I'm going to comment it out again, this part. Now let's go to case 4. And you see here, I'm defining global string 2, and it's called, its name is global string 1. So I'm defining global string 2. This is not static variable. It has memory. It's not an external value. And I say the value of this guy is global what? String 1. But as you can see, I have the same name here. Global string 2 in globalDemo 2 CPP. So this is globalDemo 1 CPP. I have the string called globalString 2. Its value is globalString 1. When I go to globalDemo 2 CPP, I have globalString 2, which is again called globalString 1. We can put any name here. What do you think? Is this doable or not? Yes or no?
Yes.
Are you sure? Because you made one mistake today. You are sure? Let me check it. Do you want to bet? I mean, if you are sure, let's bet. Are you sure or not? Okay. Your friend checked it. Let me see. I don't know. I mean, compiler tells whether it's okay or not. So I'm uncommenting this stuff. Now, what do you think? If it was doable, and I'm printing this from globalDemo 1. So globalString 2, which one is going to be printed? We have globalString 2 here. We have globalString 2 here. We are in main now. And in main, we print globalString 2. Which one is going to be printed? The one of where we have the main CPP, okay? And when I call the printGlobalString 2, and I have only the prototype, basically I'm calling printGlobalString 2, this function, but this function is this one. It should print this one. This is what you would have thought, okay? But Let's see whether it's the case or not. Oh, it's not. Why? One or more multiply defined symbols found. Okay, so this is not doable. This guy is defined here. This guy is defined here is ambiguous. It's same like in your header and your CPP file. You define the same variable, global variable. Let's say again. Okay, or in the same CPP file you define the same global variable twice. It's a mistake. So those are the 4 cases that we have seen today. The first 2 are okay. The second 2 are not okay. They're not doable. Any questions? No? I wanted to cover this example during the previous class, but okay.